thing out. Rain's gone, track's dried out.
American touring
They red flagged the race because well, they put everybody out on the side lap, and now they red flagged again because somebody crashed out on the siding lap. I don't know who it was because we kept walking up right after it happened, but I hope they're okay. Right now we've got everybody sitting here on pit road. Everybody's primed and ready to fly. Waiting on the safety crew to clear out turn one and make sure everything's good to go there.
But she still loves it, so she still goes with it. She's like, I'm not
Here.
The American Motorcyclist Association sanctions Moto America Professional Road Racing, the home of the AMA Superbike Championship. We also sanction more than 100 amateur road racing events across the country, offering member discounts on logic and gear and AMA member-exclusive roadside assistance options for emergencies. The AMA also supports your right to race. Backing the RDM Act, join today at AmericanMotorcyclist.com or call 1-800-AMA-JOIN.
Shame.
Trouble.
Shame.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway for the 83rd running of the Daytona 200, where if you're just now joining us, we are under our second red flag of this iconic race. Unfortunately, this one being brought out for an incident down in turn one involving Jason Barrow. The safety crew is needing to get out there and be able to safely get him off of the racetrack. So everybody down on pit lane right now, and what does that mean in terms of what the crews are able to do? Well, everybody has been able to do any work they want to do except change tires. That does include adding fuel to all of these bikes, and what that means when we get back to racing is they'll have about 18 laps worth of fuel on board, and what they will not have is any fresh rubber underneath them. And what we see in endurance racing is the good riders, they're able to go out and they're able to be fast. The great riders are able to go out, be fast, and save their tires. It's all going to come down to what these riders are able to do once we get back out to racing, but they're certainly going to be pushing all the equipment to the limits here, as you see some of the crews down on pit lane still executing some of the changes. They have been able to have the opportunity to talk with the rider and to make these changes, which is not what we were expecting coming into the racing. So these bikes are going to be even more dialed in.
They got the bikes on pit road right now. They can work on the bikes, they can add fuel, but they can't change the tires. They got to come back onto the track and say wherever they left off whenever they put red flag with first place of the ride.
So for the teams of riders down there, we saw quite a few of them.
They're trying to make sure that the teams for the pit stops.
Yeah, and everybody kind of has their strategy and the data and just trying to figure out how to, maximize that next pit stop.
Unfortunately, we may have jumped the gun on this just a wee bit because
You're excited.
The whole talking heads thing. I want to see people go racing. I don't want to hear people talk about it. I want to watch it.
Just to keep them busy.
Yeah,
maybe I'm a little bit impatient.
The riders as well, you mentioned about the heat cycles for these tires as well. Can't change tires under red flag conditions here in Moto America. So that's also meant that we've come in for the first red flag.
It does make you wonder how many of these guys don't go run 1, 2, 3 laps and duck into the pits and take on some fresh rubber because they can probably ride that out to the
cycle for that first lap and then back into the pits to do the same again. That's always tricky as well to see how the bike and the tire is going to work for that. The tire guys for each team really, they earn their money right now for how well they've managed to even back as far as Friday.
And now that the track has actually had a little bit longer to dry as well, I think
that is what you call the pit road boogie.
That last restart really gingered on that right side. We thought a little bit more. They have a really good feel for it now. They came through. They know exactly where the grip is. But you're right. It's another heat cycle, and it's really hard on tires when they get hot and they try to cool down. That's why you see the mechanics trying to get those tire warmers on as soon as possible, so the tires can't drop too far. Try to keep it equal.
Just here now, there'll be 5 minutes until pit road opens again, and we'll have another quick restart to get on the way. Hannah, you're down at pit road with Jake.
All right, so there we just heard it right there. We got 5 minutes until they're going to try to restart again. So anyway, since we got 5 minutes to kill, why don't you guys
Winner of
out
the
there tell me
Daytona
what some
200
stuff
and
you
you were
want
on
to see
pole
coming
here
up
in
here on
2011.
the
You've also
Jedi
won some
Temple
super bike
stuff
races
as far
here.
as shop stuff.
Tell us what it
Shop
takes
tools, shop
here at
packs,
Daytona
things like
Highway
that.
to pull off a
What's some
victory.
ideas? Because, you know,
Yeah,
hey, if I can
it's
pull
a
it
tough
off, I'll
race. It's
answer
very
give it a shot.
grueling, and you know the riders that they get put through a whole lot, but the real key to winning this race is your team. The pit stops is what's going to determine who's going to be in the
I
mix.
want to see what kind of tool bag you would use and pack to
team behind you that's practiced their
go
pit stops,
to a
and
pit
that's
row.
really the key to this race.
It wouldn't
I
be
know
a
you're
bag.
familiar with a lot of
It'd
the
be a
faces
cart.
that are out there on the
A
grid.
cart.
Anything
Yeah.
you're seeing out of anyone in particular or anyone that you're
I
working
mean,
with?
like my shop cart that I use at
what I
work, that's
expected.
not
You know,
big enough. You
Josh
can't
has
sit
shown
in there
great
crap in
speed
there.
through the infield all weekend long, and I figured at
Really,
a certain
you can't.
point he would try to exploit that speed that he's shown. And as he said, there's a 1 second difference is not enough to break the draft or really to get away at this track. But if you can keep chipping
See them
away at it
setting
like
up.
that, sometimes you can just get a break, especially when you get into lap traffic. So
Yeah, I know, Jordan. This might be shaped up being a sprint race more than a long haul.
there as well. And you know, hopefully we get through this little break and get the boys back.
Hey,
out
Clouds,
there
yeah,
and
the
get
first
racing
red
again.
flag was because we got some rain coming down, and they parked everybody. They let the rain blow through. It wasn't a real hard rain. It was just kind of a heavy sprinkle, and it only lasted for about 10 minutes. But they let the track dry out. Track's dry. The second red flag came out because when they went out for the siding lap to try to do a restart, when everybody went down into turn one, they had somebody lost the front end, and he ran off the outside of the track and wadded it up in a ball.
Focus fully on that championship and being out here and watching. How difficult is this?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty weird, like being here, you know, and walking on the grid and stuff like that. But I'm out here, you know, I have a lot of friends in the paddock and just showing my face here for Moto America. So it's really good. You know, I wish I was out there, obviously, but we're gonna focus on Barbara.
Yeah, Jordan, I'm kind of working on that a little bit. I mean, mostly what I'm using is that LA Totally Awesome stuff. That's done pretty decent.
Here in the Ducati pit, Josh Herron watching on with they're able to
I
do
put a
with
little bit of
this
citric acid in there along with it. It does a hell of a good job cleaning. The only downside is it causes rust on ferrous metal, steel, iron, things like that. So I got to come up with a way around that. Because if you throw a bunch of hardware in there, it don't look
Yeah, it's
that
just good to
great
be
whenever it
hanging out
comes
here
out.
and,
It's
you know,
clean,
having
but it
friends in the
doesn't.
paddock and just being here. And also, you know, I guess it's kind of a nice thing just to not be racing sometimes too, and then focus on our first round coming out pretty soon.
During that first stint, we did get a full running time. What were your impressions of the pace here this year?
Yeah, the race seemed like it was going quite well, and the three of these guys were hammering down pretty good. So it kind of sucks that, you know, with the rain and the red flag and stuff like that, it's been interrupted.
Alabama, I agree with you. They go fast. They need to go fast. Right now, I would really appreciate it if they would go faster at going fast. Because
full focus now, getting ready for
yeah,
the Super Sport
well,
Championship. Kicks
call me
off at
impatient
Barber
'cause
Motorsports
I am.
Park. Have you guys done any testing? What stage are you in and getting ready?
We've done some testing already, and we have some testing coming up here at the end of the month. So we have some things to try and be ready for Barbara at the first
I'm
round.
not looking at the radar, but just looking at the sky, you can see where there's a little bit of stuff coming in on the backside of that first round of crap that came through here. So hopefully we can get this thing up and running, and we can get it done and in the bag, and we can run the king of the baggers before we got to worry about that.
American Superbikes at Barbara kicking off the season. April 6th of the weekend for that opening round of the season. You can see now for the teams and riders, they all know that the quick restart is meant to get underway, so time to get yourself ready to get down there on your bike and back into this race, Rog, and you've got to get yourself fully ready. And
Let's see here.
It's really hard when you've been
Motorcycle, 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 motorcycle. Man, with all the bikes, you'd think this was a motorcycle race or something.
Red flag comes out. I think it's why you see so many riders just so focused. They don't want to lose.
Hey guys, come on, give me a break, all right? We have a very limited budget for humor and jokes here at the JTMJ channel. I'm doing the best I can with what I got to work with.
Experience in Daytona. Anything that can be thrown at you has happened to him over the course of his career here at Daytona.
Well, as far as I know, they're okay. I didn't see it happen, and I really don't know what happened. All I know is what I heard on the PA, and somebody lost the front end going down into turn one when they were going out on the sighting lap. So, I don't know.
Red, white, Jason Bridmore to call the action for the rest of the 200.
Riders making their way onto the road course again, and after that red flag situation.
So, sighting lap number 3.
Down in turn number 1, the 861 rider. Again, fast performance, and good news, Jay, he's going to be up at okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing here. As you can see it.
That's good to hear. They just came across the PA and said the guy that crashed in turn 1 on the siding lap, he's going to be fine.
Hi, Laura.
He's giving the thumbs up. There you go. He's letting everybody know he was okay as they got him strapped down. And he'll head over to the infield care center, which is great. And obviously,
Hey, Jordan, just to reiterate here, it's a bag, okay? We buy the shit in bags because it's cheaper. We're not all fancy like that.
They saw he was okay. All right, so Daytona.
Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Speedway, 3.51 mile road course here, the 12 turns. So riders.
Okay, we has got motorcycle in motion.
They will come back to their grid positions, the exact same grid position that we had just a lap ago. So it's Josh Herron, Ty Scott, Richie Escalante on the front row. Then we have Richard Cooper, Brandon Posh, and Pierre Hickman on row number 2. Danny Eslick, Matt Trulove, and Harry Trulove. Even though Harry is down a lap. Then we have Joel Lemandry, Gus Rodeo, and Carl Soltis. Narbonne, Dunlop, and Jason Farrell is going to be absent. So with the time that we have, there's going to be that open position in
That's a motorcycle.
position number 15.
yeah, that's right. And, they'll get back around here in a minute. We just got to hope that this weather just holds out for us so we can get this race restarted, get everybody going again. This 33 laps rate will go pretty quickly once we get the thing going again. And I'm really just see how this is going to play out again.
All right, I just heard the official word. We got 32 laps to the checkers once they kick this thing off.
And they had 3 or 4 hard laps on it. They've done 2 sighting laps and a start of another race. And now they're going to get another sighting lap and another warm-up lap. So really, it's like putting 6, 7 more laps on those tires.
Yeah, Daytona alone is so punishing on equipment anyway. I mean, this is probably the largest dyno that Moto America and, races these middleweight sport bikes on. But add to that now, you got a bunch of starts on these clutches. So hopefully
that is definitely another worry.
Right? Like, yeah.
It is.
Yes,
Gearing here at Daytona. Keep in mind, gearing here at Daytona.
They're dragging it so hard to get the bike to like stay
So
down.
because of how long you're on the banking and how wide open you are, you have to have a bike that's got fairly tall gearing. So getting the bikes off the line in that tall first gear can definitely be hard to punch.
And we talk about gearing, these bikes that the transmissions are set, these are production-based motorcycles that are, balanced for racing. We have this next generation. So the way that you would adjust the gears, the top speed is, you can see.
Come on, kids. Everybody knows their spot. Let's find it.
One that attaches to the motor, and then one that's on the back. And so those sprockets are what we're talking about when we talk about gearing.
Hey, Sig. Good to see you back, brother.
That first gear just becomes awfully tall as well. So riders forming here with one crew. It's a quick start procedure just to make sure they know where their grid position is, and then we're going to clear the grid, and then they're going to let them go on a warm-up lap and go. Now, one thing to keep in mind yet again is they are allowed to work on the motorcycles during the red flag. They are allowed to refuel those motorcycles as well.
Okay.
They're not allowed to change tires. So the question now for us with 33 to go, with our normal 17-ish lap window, is what's going to be the strategy here? Because Josh Herron came in. If you look at Ty Scott, Jay, he's got what?
Here we go. Come on.
Extra,
Come on.
less laps on the tires that he has. So when are the riders going to come in? Are they going to come in as late as possible so they have the freshest tire for the last sprint race?
Rerun. Let's go.
So that you can see when the actual tire starts to fall off for you as an individual. As far as is it later in the stint? It's because you're exactly right. The strategy mount.
That's got to be a shitty feeling, though. You pull a good start, you get good track position, you have a red flag come out, and then it's like, man, we got to do this crap all over again.
And make a new tire at the start of your next stint be a place where you can put in all the fast lap times.
Jamie, do you have more information on what's going on and what people are thinking down there for pit strategies now?
Well, just talking to our front runners under these red flag conditions, I mean, you said it exactly right. Everybody was able to refuel. They have about 18 laps worth of fuel on board right now, but what they don't have, as you mentioned, is a fresh set of tires. So what do? Well, they've got to backtrack it at this point in the race, and they want to make sure.
Let's see if that one bunch breaks away like they did the first time around, because you had 3 fast guys when you had a little bit of a gap, and then you had a group of about 6, 7 other people. Danny Eslick was right in the middle of all that.
Up front, but it's the great riders that are able to do that, as well as conserve the tires and get themselves into the position to make the pit stop when it makes the most sense, and not when it's just comfortable for them aboard that motorcycle. So we're going to see here who has been doing the work to save that rubber and who's got the most to get up to the pit window. It's in about 17 laps.
And with that in mind, Jay, you have to think Josh Herron has been shredding the infield road course.
morning, brother.
Comfortable for him. We don't know with the times he's been able to sit in the infield compared to everybody else, if that's been abusing the tire or not.
100%. And the thing that Josh has done, though, is he's made it to where now everybody else knows how fast he is through the infield.
Luther, all these are 600cc class bikes,
How
man.
tough is it for Josh to do those for that first?
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that.
Really, we talk about the banking, we talk about the run from the chicane to the tri-oval. Really, what Josh has been able to do is put more pressure on people in this infield section here at Daytona today. And you want to make sure, Greg, that you're not staying out because of for too long of a period of time, because it does you no good to go out in the last 6-7 laps and have a tire that's still good to go at the end. If you can come in and
Jerry, anytime you fly that pirate flag of yours that we know and love, you're always winning, brother.
Be able to do his own thing.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out there because we know that the Triumphs are actually really good on fuel.
Correct.
So if you're looking at a guy like Richard Cooper, if he's able to stay out longer, right, and not lose too much time, his fuel period that he's going to be in is going to be shorter than everyone else's. So keep an eye on the Triumphs. I mean, right now you have a Triumph at 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, but he's got a routine.
Alabama, I would not want to punish anybody making them ride on the back seat of the Eliminator more than just across town, because that's not really a seat. That's a postage stamp with a little bit of padding.
Doing 51s and 52s, he's going to be losing
Well,
too much
that
time.
would decide the wardrobe.
Keep an eye on all that for you. 33 laps to go as riders take their grid position as we're ready to get this race back underway again. And if you're just joining us after the second red flag, that was for Jason Farrell, who crashed, and he gave us the thumbs up as he was making his way into the ambulance. So we hope great thanks for Jason Farrell, and he'll be back to race action quickly. All right, so the green flags are waving for the start as we look at our front row here. Scott Escalante.
Same here, Jerry. Same here.
Just behind Herod, going through turn number 1. Herod through again. Wraps her up.
All right, let's finish this damn thing. Go, go, go.
Inside. He's going to try to put the hammer down straight away.
Yeah, again, he's going to do his, we saw him.
That's the angry sounds we know and love.
Start through this infield. He had about half a second, to your point earlier, Greg. And these two M4 bikes, they're going to try to do everything they can to stick as close to him as they can. Because what they're ultimately going to try to do is lead him into turn 1. They don't want him continuously leading them through the infield.
So Josh here, and this is round about the section where John starts to pull a couple of bike lengths before we get on to our first look at the banking per lap. So Heron's doing it again, just really smooth.
They're staying a little closer to him this time, and you can see there, look how much track Josh used compared to the bikes behind him on the edge of that turn. He really tried to let that bike roll out of there, but the M4 bikes are.
Jordan, I hate to say it, but I think you're right.
Where they should draft back by.
I wonder if we can slip a little bit of nitro in the tank on Jerry's Grom when he ain't looking.
Onto the banking.
Might need to fatten it up a little bit. It might ping a bit.
Daytona 200. Josh Herrick with a comfortable lead. You can see the two Triumphs just back off that draft. And it looks like it's going to be Bosch who slides his way into second place for the moment.
It's interesting here, John. Brandon talked just now down there on pits. Kind of said he made a couple mistakes early. I made mention that he slid back a little further than I would have felt comfortable. So he's going to make sure not to do that again. He's very good about just sticking his nose in there and keeping himself tidy. And Brandon now has worked himself into second. And you can see the draft and redraft.
Here we go, gang.
Look at this, Greg.
Crank your sound up. I think we just cleaned out some eardrums with that one.
He said that Hickman is seeming to go softly faster this section, and he closes right up on him. It's now when Heron starts to get a good drive out, and it's this last bit of this sector number 1 where Heron really puts something between himself and his competitor. Lucky team right now.
Definitely go on with him, and that's going to be a big boost of confidence, not only for Peter Hickman, but for Ty Scott, who's just behind Hickman right now. He's seeing that Hickman's able to pull himself along as well, and those guys in front of the number 70 should create a double bike draft when they get up onto the banking right now. So Herring will have, let's see if that first split time.
Yep, trains are coming. They're already opening up a gap over there. You can definitely tell which one of these teams has invested the bulk of their money in their engine department. Because rider talent only gets you so far, but when you get on that banking, unless you've got the horsepower to just blast a hole through the air and push that bike forward,
On the brakes and
so you're going to go backwards a little bit.
you see that's bunched everyone back up because Peter Hickman, and he'll tell you he's a pretty big rider. His teammate will tell
Got
you
somebody down here in the pit. What's up with that?
Because Hickey's very broad-shouldered and he punches a big hole in the air.
Of course, and you can see that those Triumphs are not hurting for speed, though, are they, Greg? He's able to get into the draft of Josh Herring, pull up alongside, but look at this now. You're going to have 4 or 5 bikes again, all pulling out.
Oh, we're 5 wide coming into the tri-oval. Yeah. You wouldn't think we're more or less halfway into this thing. I mean, that's grande huevos type of move there.
It's a little bit complicated. We only really have 8 laps, so it's
we don't need no stinky permission.
But we know that right now the 54 of Richie Escalante leads the way, Jamie.
And for Richie Escalante, he just hasn't been comfortable all weekend aboard the super sport bike, and he kept saying, you know, it's bad habits that he had developed getting used to the super bike platform, but for him, having the opportunity to come in and having that red flag period, they were able to make some changes for the race pace here for Richie, and he, right before he put his helmet back on, he said, this is the best I've felt all weekend. When Richie feels good at Daytona, he's always really good.
Jamie, it's funny you said that because I ran into him before I started this race too, and he gave me a little insight. He said, Jason, I just been struggling with just a little bit this weekend with the front of the bike. They kind of thought about maybe going back to what they ran last year.
You know, it kind of makes you wonder what these guys do to kind of condition themselves for the G-force on the banks on this track. I mean, obviously, outside of a shit ton of push-ups, you know, what the hell do you do? Do you walk around the house and everything and, you know, hit with a bowling ball tied around your neck just to get used to it?
See, they made it more comfortable.
And for Richie Escalante on the 54 and his teammate Ty Scott, they're not running identical setups either. Of course, with the Super Sport rules changes allowing adjustable triple clamps, Escalante decided he was actually going to go with the stock triple clamps that come with the G-Suzuki.
I tell you what, I don't care who you are, that sound will do more for you than a whole damn bottle of Viagra.
That team has definitely come.
We still got our late group pretty much all bunched up together.
Testing at Rolling Road before they even got to this place. So for Hickey and
I mean, here in another 3-5 laps somewhere in there, I expect these guys are going to start coming in for tires because that's about the window.
Stop challenge. They learned something from that.
Just keep in mind, they had to restart this thing on the tires that they came off the track with whenever they originally threw the red flag.
You're 100% right, Jay. And something that Cooper mentioned and we talked about a little bit earlier is that he wanted to be especially patient in the first stint. And talking about his fuel stops and pit stops, he said there's great fuel consumption on the Triumph, especially because he is so lightweight compared to the stature of the other riders. He's going to play it by ear unless he feels he needs to come in. He's going to wait for his pit board, but the strategy for this second pit stop is a little bit different. He wants to put himself in a position to come back out of the pits and be advantageous for him to come out when the Suzukis come out. Because he said his bike operates in such a similar fashion to the Suzuki than that of the Ducati, it could be really advantageous to him for the third stint in the race.
Well, right now he's got 4 riders behind him that are going to gobble him up.
Hang on, kids. Here we go again. Talk about flying in formation. The Blue Angels can take the pointers from these guys.
We got 2 or 3 laps under our ball since we restarted this race.
Quick Star Suzuki's. The number 70, Ty Scott, your pole sitter, original pole sitter, I should say, is trying to put the hammer down himself. Things are so tight up front. Watch as they come on to the banking for the first time. You have Richard Cooper there in a great spot in third place to make up a lot of ground. We see passing here. Look at Cooper going down to the bottom. Look at him rocket by both riders, looking for room. This is going to be tight to the wall. And Cooper gives Josh Aaron some room. Now it's going to be a braking duel into the chicane.
You know, Greg, when you get into a race like this and you have a big group like this, you get used to riding around. All these guys know who each other are. Every one of them have a lot of respect for each other as far as being on the bikes, out these kind of speeds, moving around. You're going to give each other room, and that was really good class there by both Cooper and Heron as they were both fighting for the draft with Ty Scott. You could see both of them giving each other just a little bit of room there as Ty Scott now gets passed by Cooper on the banking. Look at Danny Essick on the back of the TOBC bike. He's up on the left-hand side of our screen right now. He had a 5-6 rider.
Yep, Heron's back in front. Yeah, he got the fourth there.
In the infield.
Okay, we got Josh Heron leading, and then Danny Escalante is running number 2 with Hickman in third.
At the bottom, Heron knew exactly what he was doing. That's all that experience.
My guy Danny Eslick still running around in 6th place, but that's okay because 6th place ain't that damn far off right now. They're still keeping them tightened up because they, your top 3 ain't broke out into a big train like they had, you know, on the first round. Red flag.
Taking a look at here, I expect this split again to go right down into the low 57s. We're going to get that flash up onto our screen right this second, Greg. There you go, 56.6. So he is absolutely going to as far as that split goes, drops right down into the 6s now. Now everybody's going to get a little bit more jumpy, a little bit more concerned. They do not want the number 2 to have clean air.
Off the back straightaway to the chicane, that was the legendary Geraldo Ferracci looking on, of course, involved with the Celtic Econo-Lube Tire Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati team after he guided that group to a championship last year with Josh Heron in the Moto America Superbike class.
Yeah, Jordan, I know you got a quarter of a second between the top 10. I mean, that's tight racing, Bubba. I don't care who you are.
Getting after these teammates.
CC, you're more than welcome, man.
And there's your 3 up front. Trying to find some room on his teammates. Pick it up for a second.
And the intake valve goes float, float, float.
That's the kind of stuff that you're going to coach now. That lap there.
Looks like we got a new leader again. They're trading back and forth between Tyler O'Hara and sorry guys, brain lock.
Trying to do the same thing. Starting right now. With each lap that passes, it will be harder and harder.
Injury last year, Jason, and when I talked to Escalante about his winter, he said, you know, I came off of injury. I raced a couple of Superbike races at the end of the season, so I took actually a month off from training, so it wasn't until November he got back into it, and he dropped 4 pounds to race here at the Daytona 200, and he's going to get it.
Looks like he may be trying to open up a little bit of a gap back here on the back straight.
Back into third, and you can see there wasn't a lot gained on Richie Escalante down that back straightaway. He got a good drive, albeit he's had that bike sliding pretty hard out of turn 6 and bucking.
Hicks is currently 5th right now, Jordan.
For Richie Escalante.
That's coming from the wife unit, so I would say it's a reliable source because she's the one that's got her phone dialed into the Moto America website.
Side by side and trying to fight for the draft of Josh Heron up the road in front of him. And here comes Brandon Posh on the 96 team.
The speedy
What do I think about the new CVO RR? Well, I think 110K for any Harley, much less a bagger. That's not my budget, and that's damn sure not on my radar. Because I'll tell you what, I would rather. Here's the way I look at it. Okay, I would rather spend, say, $2,500 on a bike, and then take another $2,500 to put with it, and that's for all my road gear, road gas, things like that. That's my traveling. So I'm $5,000 into it. I'll disappear on that damn thing for a month. In a perfect world, we all know that's not going to happen, but say I disappear for a month. How many payments did I have to make on that thing? Oh yeah, none. You can't make me pay $110 or $110,000 for a bagger. I don't care what it is if you're holding a gun to my head.
To get the angle into the chicane. So Escalante will lead us.
Chicane. So now it's going to be a big draft and redraft again. And you can see Brandon Posh this time a little bit more aggressive than what we saw in the opening stints of this race.
Me personally, I think the bean counters at Harley are extremely out of touch with reality, and they are extremely, hopefully, optimistic.
Just off the back of the front four, they come across the track.
Man, I don't know whose bike that is, but that thing is popping hard on the cell coming down into turn one.
He just wasn't aggressive enough. What he needed to do. He already got the opportunity to get back into this lead battle and just put his elbows out and do exactly what you said. That's what this race is going to demand. If he's going to go for a third Rolex here this year, he's going to have to do the same thing. And Jamie, just on the heels of
Neil, James, sick? Yes, you are all correct in that. Every single one of you.
One that's facilitating everything for his team, so the rest of these riders have the opportunity.
My man is trying to get below the paint on that bike.
Not only that, but provide an opportunity for his teammate Richard Cooper, who's mentioned he could not be.
That's a great story here because this race has had an international flavor to it for so many years. And you remember when so many riders from the World Championships all over the world back in the day used to show up.
In response to Wife Unit's comment there, I don't give a damn, baby. I love you.
Back over 4 or 5 years ago, Greg.
There, I said what I said.
Flavor coming back into the paddock, and I think they're going to see the team. Hopefully he'll over here for years to come.
TC, yeah, you're not far off the money there. The guys at Harley that thought this was going to be a good idea, and then the guys that approved this that they thought was going to be a good idea, they really walked into a room with some of the old graybeards from back in the 60s and 70s. Just let them spend some time together. It may change their outlook on things a little bit.
He's comfortable down at the bottom of the banking. He's had to look over his shoulder just about every lap out of the International Horseshoe. And it might be a way for him to think of who he might be a little bit better than as far as getting through the infield. Escalante has shown that he can measure.
That thing is singing.
Now, that advantage, I think.
There's your lead group going back up on the bank in turn one, coming around to two.
We've got to do more to try to get you more comfortable through the infield.
I wish I had a better view of the chicane from here, but something told me that I needed to park my ass right here at the stripe. I don't know, call it being a Daytona new, but I just felt like this was the place for me.
Meeting Josh Herring and getting new tires on to try to gain that advantage of being able to go as fast as he feels he can get through the infield. How much is is he being held back? And that'll be the strategy for a lot of the other riders that are behind him to think about too, how their tires are feeling. When you start to feel a big drop off and that group starts.
If you guys are new to the live stream here, right about now is when you want to turn your volume up.
Step up for longer as we go 5 wide.
Oh yeah, Drew, we're going to be here for the bagger race, man. Hold up, I'm trying to hear the PA.
In my headset, yeah, still under power.
I thought I'd heard that somebody ran off track, but I guess not.
Looks like the G's good.
Yeah, he's
pulling off now. Looks like maybe some steam coming off, maybe the radiator, some smoke pouring out of that bike. So for Richard Cooper, unfortunately, would have maybe see him.
We got somebody out on a mechanical.
That's what he knew. Something was going on.
right there.
Sounds like we had somebody drop out with a mechanical. Either they lost a head gate.
I'm not sure what happened to Richie that time through the infield, but something happened when we were paying attention to what happened to Cooper, and this field is getting split up again, and Brandon Bosch is now the guy that's going to be trying to chase Josh Herron down as they come down towards the tri-oval.
There's Herron back in the lead. We're starting to open up a little bit of a gap there. Herron may be trying to run away and hide.
And the bike is feeling a lot closer to the Ducati Superbike that Josh is used to running last year. It works for more stability, especially under braking, and that's also what's helping him go faster, specifically through the infield, as you mentioned how quick he is.
James, I wish you were here with me, Bubba. That's gospel truth. But I tell you what, this is something that we joked about the other night, but I got to thinking about it. Let's make a plan, folks. Let's put together a weirdos ride to Mecca for 2026. Let's get together. Let's do this damn thing, y'all. Let's all get together and come to Daytona. What do you think?
No. 2026? Yeah.
Half a second on the 96, and now Ty Scott kind of finds himself in the spot that he did before the red flag, where he's going to have
Hey, if you guys are legit interested in making this ride to Daytona for 2026 happen, holler at me over in the Discord, okay? We'll put together something to where we can, kind of spitball some ideas back and forth. But yeah, get a hold of me over on the Discord. That way we can talk about this. Because let's face it, folks. We got a year to make plans here, okay? And plus, I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at coming down here for the... You guys are probably looking at coming down here for the street. Got angels and the rest of the weirdos. So let's just make a damn week of it. How about that?
That gap down to Josh Herron. Almost looks like the same as
Just trying to apply that pressure all the time. Anytime he hits the front, he wants to try and break up that grip.
There's your flying beer sign. It wouldn't be a NASCAR track without it.
He has to dig in now for these last couple of laps. He just keeping up the back ball as it is right now. But we're coming up towards that pit window. We saw at the first round of the pit stops, Josh Herron and Ty Scott very closely matched whenever they came out of the pits. Really important to have that clean run through the pit stops.
this pit stop gives you more pressure than the previous one, because this is the last one. You cannot make a mistake now because you're running out of opportunities to overcome. So there's a lot of pressure in this crew.
still would have been an hour from Orlando had we not been caught in the traffic hell. But yeah, man, if you've rode Orlando on the Connie, what's another hour?
He's gone the fastest.
Sorry, y'all. I was trying to catch up on comments here. We're starting to see guys come down here on pit road for their round of pits, okay? Tires, fuel, the whole nine. So we've got 19 laps left to go, I believe.
As you see, Aaron's got a jump, goes Scott. Somebody just walked off the racetrack. Brandon Bosch.
Nicholas Chris, thank you very much, sir. Hey, man. I will freely admit that I am outclassed in every way by the networks that are covering this, but they got a hell of a lot more budget than what I do. But I appreciate you taking the time to come out and hang out with us. That means a lot, man.
And that's where, as a rider, you have a feel of what you feel your teammate on as far as the edge goes. Try to turn the thing in, and one of us can lose in the front. Ty Scott now has to put his head back down and redo what he did just now as far as getting that 1 second
All right, we got our first round of pit stops out of the way. Question is, when's everybody else going to come in, and how bad's it going to jumble up the order?
Indication that he might come in, look for that right leg sticking out. And it's not, so he is going to go around again. As you see Heron just in front of him, but you're right, Brandon.
Yeah, boys, that gap's getting bigger. Somebody may be trying to do something here.
To keep that TBC
We got more coming down here on pit road for gas and tires.
One of which Richard Cooper went out of the race just a couple laps ago.
Yeah, friends, this is the second half after the red. Well, this is the second half after the second red flag, okay? Kind of a weird thing. They got the track dried off from the rain. They went out, they did a sighting lap. Somebody bended in turn one on the sighting lap, and they threw a red flag again after they were getting picked up. Getting everything squared away from that. It's cool, though. He's okay. He's just a little bit beat up around the head. Just nothing serious, though. So then, here we go with part two. So, in effect, basically, we cut the Daytona 200 in half and turned it into a pair of 100-mile sprint races. And I got to admit, I'm loving the shit out of it.
Back into the chicane just a little bit, and Ty Scott's bike looked very, very on form as he entered the chicane there. You can see probably slowed some of his mentors.
Dale, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
That's not gonna give up. Did not see Brandon Bosch back there. Looking out my window, Bosch is indeed down pit lane. So these two guys now, as they run up out in the infield together, there's nobody around them.
Got some more coming down pit road.
That's Brandon Bosch, number 96.
And approaching the team for the final point of this Daytona 200. You can see the crew at the ready. They've been practicing this over and over again. Really great. Drinking water. 5 crew members allowed to work on the bike. One of them being a fueler. A 6th crew member allowed overall as well. His sole role is just to see the
back in it. Now, in theory, mathematically, these guys should be able to run this out to the end off the fuel they took on here. The big question is, are they going to have enough tire to run this thing out to the end without it getting greasy and going off and sliding all over the track on them? That's what I want to know.
So that right there is here rolling underneath Ty Scott. Ty Scott having to take it to some. Racing extremely hard. They look at it with the left hand. And now.
Brad Mattis, hey brother, thank you for hanging out with us here. Because I don't know if you know it or not, but this is my first time ever being here, like ever. Decided to come hang out with us instead of just sitting down in front of a TV with people that actually know what they're doing, that put this stuff up with multiple different camera angles.
Down goes that rider, and here it has a walk. So
we got somebody down. We got some.
Yeah, he's probably telling these guys, hey, I see it, and you'll see that's what probably. And we'll have a look here. Look on the right side of the left side of the screen, trying to figure out what happened. Look at Aaron. See what he's doing? He's trying to just disrupt Ty Scott's.
Man, we're running over the mess right now. I'm watching this out of one eye. Watch the race with the other, and it hurts. You talk about confusing yourself.
And then we're going to run through the chicane, and then about half.
Friends, are you talking about running intermediates and trying to run in the wet? Because if you are, no, they don't. In the wet down here.
Top of the banking down.
if he drops down, off the banking,
Down the banking.
here he comes.
There you go.
Looks like we got a couple more diving off on the pit row here.
Coming in here together.
Ty was close. They're side by side. This is going to be all on the teams.
All right.
What are you seeing?
All right. Here's a pit row war I want to watch, y'all.
Potentially happened with John Sharon and the other riders in here. So they also recognized as soon as he tapped his helmet, they all shook their head yes, swung into action. They were ready and waiting for him to come down the pit lane here. Looks like him and Ty Scott might be having some words alongside each other. I'm not sure how well they can.
This here's going to come down to who's fastest with the wrench.
Talking to the team earlier, they said it's not necessarily the speed with which that they complete this pit stop. It's the efficiency and the as you can see. We're refueling right now. Really, that's the only holdup is just waiting. He's back on the bike and we're trying to get out. Looks like the front stand is just.
He's out. He's gone. Big gap out of the pits there. Like big gap out of the pits there. I ain't seen the clocks on it, but I'd say that's about a 2.5, 3 second difference out of the pit. When they cross the stripe on the exit of pit road, that's going to make a hell of a big space on the track.
They've done everything they can do to get their
Flagman's right down there in the infield, Dale.
This is experience, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit late. Now it's stuck again. He probably lost maybe 2 or 3 seconds.
Dug into the tool. Man, it just really John Cherry is fired up. But as this race sorts itself out, Ty Scott and John Cherry.
Wow, Josh Harron's down at 6 right now. He's going to have to claw his way back up out of there.
Try to look out that front wheel. Just, sometimes if you feel something,
Escalante's in first right now.
Yep.
He knew he was hitting that front stand, maybe just checking to see if there was any damage or anything wrong.
Yeah, not sure if he maybe feel maybe the rotor. You know, when you get on those brakes, all of a sudden you go, wait a second. Hopefully everything's okay on board.
What does this do for Ty Scott's mental? Because he knew that he had got out of the pits, and his team did a great job. He knew that he saw Josh Herron having some issues, but Herron's already ran it down. They're looking at each other.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, Aaron's back in first. We get back to the hotel tonight. I'm going to have to look this up and watch the replay with somebody that is not me behind the camera that watches this race. This is what I'm seeing right here now. This is awesome. But being able to see it live in 4K, well, not live, but in 4K in the comfort of my own flip-flops and boxer shorts with a cold beverage in my hand, hey, that's going to make it that much better the second time around.
Ty Scott was a little bit tighter, and you can see the front end of that bike fighting for traction, hopping up and down. Ty Scott down in the drive.
Tom Scott is now being penalized 1.72 seconds for that. So it was this incident on year 3. So Tyler Scott has been given a 1.72 second penalty, as is Brandon Bosch. He's assessed a 1.74 second penalty for an incident that he had the 96 earlier.
You know, Greg, it's a harsh penalty because, in my view, Herron stepped up underneath Ty Scott there, and that's a racing incident. You want these runners to be able to race. I don't think if you asked either one of these two guys in the front, there was really any other. That's a unfortunate penalty because now Ty Scott.
William, I'm right there with you, man. That one Suzuki is screaming.
0.73 seconds. That's on the racetrack.
I'm betting they were wishing that they hadn't put that extra tooth on the rear sprocket right about now.
Trump's a full second quicker than the guys in front of him, so Escalante is on a charge. So
So where are we at with positions?
Man. You're talking less than 3,000ths of a second.
Got to back up on the bank in one.
Pushing his own air and drafting.
You can say what you want about the Ducati guys. They do build one slippery motorcycle with enough horsepower to push it through the damn wind at a real damn good rate speed.
He gets to the back of his teammate. See if this drafted pass maneuvers can start to close the gap that Herron has opened up. 175 miles an hour. Some drafted pass maneuvers touching on 180 miles an hour on the high banks of Daytona for these super sport machines. Incredibly fast.
Before that last pit stop. And now he's starting to show some real pace, Greg. And it looks like we're going to get right back to where we were in 2023. 54 right out. And they were glued together.
Okay, if you're on the racetrack, you want to beat your brother no matter what. That's the right part of your screen. Back up the lead now. Between Heron, Escalante, and Tyson.
We got Heron, Escalante, first and second.
We got 3 fighting for second.
Yeah.
Can hold a little tighter line through the middle of that chicane and cut that distance. So Escalante right now is going to feel the draft coming to play. He's just slipstream, and he'll be up alongside Heron by the time they get down. And he's following right in the middle tracks to the number 2. And here you go as they come across Tri-Oval. Escalante will run.
Damn, those guys are fast.
That's on the back of Josh. Here we go, 55.992 in the infield sector, the fastest split time of sector 1 in the race. And this is the section that we're talking about.
Less than 10 laps. Less than 10.
Too much friendly fire, I don't think, at the moment. It's all we'll see when this lap goes. Sometimes this happens, like take a breather. Last time on strike 2.
I would love to know what kind of RPM those guys are pulling coming across the line, because there's a couple of those Suzukis that are just absolutely shrieking.
Doesn't already follow people through there. And but Escalante and Ty Scott now, they've got the measure a little bit. Especially on 26, all the way back to the trial through the chicane and things like that. So, these 3 are going to be tied together now, Greg, for the next 10, 12 laps. And now you're just trying to get to the spot where you're not playing games.
Well, we got 10 laps left.
You've got to get your mind thinking about 2 laps to go. What are your intentions? What are you going to do? Where can you try to make passes?
Now we got 10 laps to go.
Yeah.
So now it's a sprint race down to the checkers.
You don't want to sleep on Heron, because if he pulls the trigger on you, it gives you second to the running on 150 JTMJ. For Escalante. You can see clearly. Second, but Heron might be doing the old cat mouse.
And it's a frustrating thing for the F4 team as well.
Bill Van Ram, when we were still playing around with sprint cars, whenever I was still living in Tennessee before I moved to Florida, on the Yamaha motors, we'd see those motors peak out about 16, 16.5. I mean, sure, you could rev it more than that if you wanted to, but you were flirting with disaster. The Kawasaki motors that we were building, they actually were fairly low compared to everything else. They made really good torque, so we didn't have to just wring its neck to get power out of it. But the guys that were running the, say 2012 and up GSXR motors, oh my God, man, those things were wailing. We'd see guys turning those things 18, 18.5 at some of the short tracks.
To Ty Scott, he said, yeah, that's something good.
And the terrifying part is they would actually hold up.
2-second penalty. He's going to say it's good.
And the hardest part about that, Jamie, is as a rider, you start thinking to yourself, well, what did I do? Where did I gain an advantage? What had happened? And then it's the whole psychology of what's going on. When you're trying to race the speeds these guys are going, you're trying to make a plan, you're trying to make a move. That makes sense. And again, it's been to get that message across.
What did you clock that one? That was a 148.84.
Last lap.
Oh, that was his best lap. My bad. Yeah, 151.24, but that still ain't nothing to sneeze at. I mean, damn. Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah.
it live and in color, dude, just hearing it, it's worth the trip, man. I've been around fast bikes all my life, and I've rode some fast bikes. I've rode some fast bikes at a damn fast track, but this is a whole nother world here.
Make sure that he's able to be in that mix. Ty's not really going to know what's going on for his penalty, Rog.
What we got there?
We are vicious. We are under buck
149.9 on that last lap.
Most of this race, chasing in that third consecutive Daytona 200 victory, and right now he's just in front of the number 70 of Ty Scott and Richie Escalante.
Another 7.5 laps left.
Hey Jordan, you remember a long time ago in the old Formula USA class, basically it was just a no holds barred, run what you brung. Remember when Kenny Roberts showed up with Rich Oliver and that other dude on a pair of YZR 500s? Wouldn't that just be cool as shit to be able to watch that here?
Mistakes from both Ty Scott and Richie Escalante. And when he sees this gap, that's
What's time's looking like?
the second horseshoe on the same lap, and then last lap through, we saw Escalante run a little right there again. 4 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over Escalante. So it's even though it shows.
That's a new quick lap for Herrera. 148.661 right there.
Remember, only Ty Scott right now. There in second position.
Kenny's the man, dude. He was a hard ass too. He was kind of a no bullshit, take no prisoners method of approaching how you'd have expect his riders to perform for him.
Almost like Josh Herron was able to control like the focus of these two riders. They operate wide in corners and the Josh Herron, he's
55 in that first place. The number 2, his ability to get through the infield, maybe with some of those parts that you're talking about.
7 laps left.
Herron right now with 46 that was his personal best lap of the race. So as they come to the track, there's back markers of about 6, 5, 6 seconds.
148.2. A new track record, 148.3 for Escalante.
Whoa, who ripped that?
148.3 for Ty Scott. The race record for last year was a 148.6. So Josh Herron is
Holy shit.
outstanding.
Herron just ripped off a 148.273. That's a new lap record for the race pace.
Even, during the Superboc Championship finale last year, when he was saying he was so nervous heading into this weekend, he told me this is just really exciting. It's fun for me. There's really not a lot at stake here. Three in a row in his fourth Daytona 200 victory potentially, but he's happy that he
that's the thing. Whenever you burn off fuel load, yeah, the bike gets lighter because you got less weight on the bike. Obviously, duh. The cool thing is the center of gravity, actually the roll center, it actually changes because it shifts down. So you're taking weight off of the higher points of the motorcycle and you're moving it down low. So not only does that make the bike turn in just a tiny bit easier, it also lets it hold the line better in a corner when it's way over on the side of the tire because you just shifted the center of gravity lower in the chassis.
He's really shown that he's able to just drop the hammer on them and get these lap times consistent.
I just want to let you know that the lap record around this race is 147.8.
Josh got off into the infield ahead of them, that would make it a lot of hard work, and now he's completely out of the picture. So for Escalante and Ty Scott now, it's a matter of being able to just do the best that they can. 6 laps to go. We can't even see, really, you can't even see here in the picture anymore.
We got 5 laps to go, guys.
First split. And now we have heard that the penalty is penalty for
So I looked at Greg and Ty Scott cut across the line ahead, and the time penalty wasn't involved. Now these guys are gonna get their head down. Seconds, and that's put a lot of pressure on these two teammates.
It looks like something bouncing around on the racetrack. Yeah, not quite sure what that was. It may have been on there before, but falling off from somebody else. Looks like both riders have their knee pucks on. You're in motorcycle road racing. Those are like you can punch them, but that's what they skip off the ground. The lap time that he would have to do right now to really Josh Aaron. 4.5 laps to go is incredible.
Does that show you how much of a gap you got?
Racing Ducati of Josh Aaron. With 7 laps to go, he encored 2 incredible laps.
Wow.
As we look to the left part of your screen, Jay, this is what we were talking about in a minute.
Well, as long as Aaron doesn't wad it up in a ball, I think it's safe to say he's got this. Don't get me wrong, mad respect to him. I was just hoping we could see Danny Esley get one more win here at the 200 because that dude's had one amazing career.
Escalante's got the chase on.
He will never give up. That is for sure. As Josh Aaron now has his racing control. Josh Aaron has had runs coming. And this is the best I've seen this motorcycle.
Seeing somebody run a full-spec MotoGP bike here would be awesome, but the thing is, honestly, I don't think you'd see that much time out of it. I mean, yeah, you're going to pick up speed on the banking up on the oval course, but the infield being as flat as it is, that's where, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit because, yeah, the GP bikes have got, a hell of a lot more rider rate than what these bikes do because these bikes are all production-based, but still, the physical limits of tire adhesion on a flat surface, that's your common denominator there.
You realize Escalante was a half a second quicker. Man, when you look at the screen right now, it's 2.9 seconds. race between these two.
Experience now with this team in the race. 54 laps behind their belt.
Brad, I agree with you. That's when you plan every molecule of fuel consumption throughout the course of a race. That's why whenever you got a yellow flag, people start looking real nervous, thinking, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to make a pit stop."
He's making up his mind on where he's going to pass these guys. He's thinking to himself, even when you're 3 seconds back, you see that next back marker up in front of you. As a rider, you're already starting to think, where am I going to catch this person? What can I do? That person's not going to show me experience. That can even be taken back. Your drive would be better on the way out than it would be if you ran up onto the back of somebody.
I just can't believe that 51 laps into this race, Josh Aaron was able to uncork a 147.879. Just a qualifying record set here. What a performance we have seen from the Californian, Josh Aaron.
To go.
Trigger and a little wheel in the air.
Walking it out here. Throw the yellow out of the white flag. He doesn't even bother looking back anymore. He knows. He knows he's not this guy.
Josh Aaron has been able to accomplish his career in the keep in mind, by the way, that the pedagogy too comes with electronic games. So Josh is in control of the rear tire, all with his right wrist. And the talent obviously shows, but this particular race has not been an easy one at all. These couple red flags and all the different strategies we have for pit stops, and a tip of the cap to the crew. I mean, his crew for the Celtic Economy Local Tire Warriors, they just became Racing Economy team, put together incredible pit stops to help him.
Holy shit. We're coming down to the white flag lap here, and it's sprinkling again. It just started. It's really light, it's really faint, but I can feel this.
That's just a simple thing, a little accident that happened. The rider made up for it on his outlap, didn't it? So all the time that they've paid him off by getting him in and out of the pits, absolutely perfect. He paid them back a little bit today with a great first lap out on that third stint.
And that's having that ace card in your back pocket. And we're hearing again a little bit of a sprinkle, but good news is
White flag's out.
flag is out for Josh.
Last lap. Unless the bottom falls out of it right here and now, this is going to be it.
Josh Aaron.
All top three are under $150.
Or his entire career, Jay, to get off of a factory by not having a ride, to get in the mix, going to Moto2, coming back to the U.S. 2024 Moto America Superbike champ, and now, on this last lap, put himself in the best position ever to win his third in a row.
Yeah, and you think about the frustration right now for the two guys behind them. Really
Demetrius, I hate to break your heart, but it ain't no Honda.
to be able to give him a fight till the very end. But it was just a couple little mistakes in those infield turns where this guy was applying the pressure all day.
I gotta admit, after that one low time lap that he took off, Heron has been putting on a class here at Daytona.
Last time, I tell you right now, when you go up on this banking for the final time, all you want to do is sit here and there's something that happens. So he's going to be pretty much screaming in his helmet right now as he comes to the trioval.
There, we're coming down.
Here he comes to the line. Josh Aaron on the back of two Daytona 200 victories.
There you go. dialed that back. That last lap where he took the checkers, it was only 149.8. Only.
You think about how difficult this place is and how this is a team that has their stuff together, Greg, and to be able to do it 3 years in a row. It's never been done, so it just tells you how hard that is. And this guy's a grinder, man. He will just keep applying that pressure like he did as he goes over to some of the fans. And of course, four guys up down the back straight.
Of course, everybody.
Oh, man.
Josh has a burn out in the grass. Oh, boy. Take it easy, man. Last thing you want to do is dig that thing up before you bring it into victory lane. What a run by Josh Aaron. I mean, listen, we knew that what he was doing was the team put their heads down and figure out how many laps we have left. He needed to on those tires worn out. I mean, you go back and look before that last pit stop and you saw that car spinning up. You saw it certainly move around on the front end. Incredible.
Yeah, we'll go down and really affect him that much. Like I've seen on so many of our telecasts in the past, I've been out there riding around with him before. He does some pretty amazing things on a motorcycle. He's got a lot of bike control. And somehow or another, I always feel like that really helps lend a hand when you have that much bike control in setup and things like that. And for Josh, again, can't say enough about the team and him and what they've done.
All right, we'll step away. When we get back, we're going to talk to Josh Aaron and find out how that race went for him. 57 laps in the book. The only rider in history.
Well, guys, I'm going to let you all pick it up on ESPN or wherever in the hell you want to. Sorry, beloved wife, you just said something to me and it kind of made my brain go reboot. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for coming out here to hang out with us, and thank you for sharing this with me, because this has been big.
3 or 4 laps, that's what opened up that margin.
Y'all stay tuned for the video. It'll be out shortly, okay? Give us a day or two to get back to the house, get it put together. You guys, you'll see it soon enough.
But you talk about coming out and
Just remember, till the next time I get a chance to see y'all, we get together and hang out together. I love you. I'll catch y'all on the flip side, okay?
Fastest, bike. Josh won this Daytona 200 by putting it in